It's April and my battery's gonna die, so I'm gonna do this really quickly. I need to give you guys my May wrap up because I haven't done it yet. So I'm going to. I actually read 9 books in May and it was glorious and wonderful, and I'm gonna let you know what all of them were. The first book was Mistress of the Wind by Michelle Diener, I believe is how you say her name. This is, once again, a East of the Sun, West of the Moon retelling. I know you're completely tired of me talking about them, but it was more of an adult take on the story, and it kind of left me a little flat. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. It's basically about a prince who is cursed into a polar bear and forced to find this girl he met in his past that he knows he's got a connection with, else he has to marry the evil lady's daughter. East of the Sun, West of the Moon. Next is Peter Pan by Jenny James. This is one of my, sweet reads that I have to read every once in a while just because I can. And of course it's Peter Pan and I like Peter Pan. It read kind of like a fan fiction. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't something that will give you pause about your life. I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. Finally, physical book. I read Summer and Bird by Catherine Catmull. This is a story about, of course, Summer and Bird, who are on a quest to find their parents after they suddenly go missing. And it's a very whimsical, slightly dark tale. It takes in a lot of like bird mythology and creation mythology. So you've got the phoenixes, you've got the tree of life, that kind of thing. It reminds me a lot of Pan's Labyrinth or Mirror Mask. It's supposed to be for younger readers, but I find it a little darker than that. And I don't know if I would read it to that age range. But I did enjoy it. It was a 4 out of 5 stars. After that, you guys have all heard about this one. It was The Haunting of Sunshine Girl by Paige Mackenzie. I absolutely adored this book. It was great. It's basically about a girl named Sunshine who moves into a house with her stepmother and she starts to have some supernatural experiences. I love this YouTube channel and I did a full review on it, so I'll link to that and you can get more of my feels. But I gave this one a 5 out of 5 stars because it was awesome. I liked it. Then there was Paradise Wars by Stephen R. Lawhead. This was an ebook I picked up, I have no idea when. It's basically about Lewis, who goes into the Fae realm chasing after one of his friends, and it's got a lot of Celtic mythology. And it's based around him living in this realm and becoming a warrior and figuring things out. I didn't connect a lot with the story, but it was very good writing, so I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. My birthday happened, and this beautiful book fell into my lap, courtesy of my boyfriend. It's a glorious graphic novel of The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle. I absolutely love it. This is one I'm gonna constantly go back to because I love the artwork in this. It's just, beautiful graphic novel. So if you're looking for a graphic novel, pick this one up. I don't know if I mentioned it. I'm like all over the place right now, but I gave that a 5 out of 5 stars, mainly for sentimentality because I love The Last Unicorn so much. I've finished this not so exciting book, The Complete Guide to Money by Dave Ramsey. It taught me a lot. I really like his view on how to handle money and, think about your future and things like that, especially since I'm trying to pay off a house right now. This was a good book. I ended up giving it a 5 out of 5 stars. So yeah. Texas Gothic by Rosemary Clemont Moore. I hauled this as an ebook and I hauled it as a physical book after I read the ebook and liked it so much and I needed to have it in my hands. Can you tell I like this book? It's about a girl named Amy Goodnight who is house sitting her aunt's farm and some ghost things start to happen. She's actually from a line of witches And so there's like psychics, there are witches who like to mess with technology and chase ghosts. And it's just this like weird little quirky read that I enjoyed so much. It had me laughing and I enjoyed the characters, so I gave it a 5 out of 5 stars. And finally, the one I'm sure a lot of you have seen and are trying to like figure out if you should pick it up or not, and that is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir. I liked this book. This book was right up my alley. It's about a girl named Leia who is part of the Scholar group, and she ends up going undercover as a slave to track down her brother and try to free him because he has been taken in by the Empire, being accused as a spy, and she wants to get him out. And in the process, she also meets Ellis, I believe that's how you say his name, who is a mask, which is actually the warrior class of the Empire. And so the two of them are trying to figure out how they fit in their own worlds and what they think of this empire, and it's got all kinds of mythology in it. It's got Indian mythology, European mythology, and it's got a lot of Roman characteristics, and they just kind of like all come together in this nice way. It's a really nice fantasy. I just devoured it. The only problem I have is that it was advertised as a standalone, and when you read this you can clearly tell it was never meant to be a standalone, and that kind of drives me nuts. But I will be reading through this series because I just liked it. Yeah. I really should formulate my thoughts more on this book, but it was a great read. I like how she did her storytelling. It digs into the adventure. It is a fantasy story. I'll leave it at that. So that was my main wrap up, and I don't have any more words. If you read any of these books, tell me what you thought. If you want to read some of these books, you should do it. Let me know what your favorite read for May was. I heart your beautiful faces. Bye! They don't even know what I look like, but we're doing this anyways. Ah, fudge nuggets on a stick.